Hey there YouTube, welcome back. It's been quite a while since we've done an upload, which I apologize for. Since that time, we have relocated to a new apartment with editing office space, which is fantastic. Saved up and gotten a bunch of parts for this thing, so we're gonna start right here. Today, it's supposed to rain at some point, right around 2 or 3 o'clock, and right now it's currently 10:30 a.m. We're gonna get this thing up in the air, and this video is going to show you basically how to go from your downpipe to your muffler and replace everything with a custom budget 3-inch exhaust system. So far, ordered a bunch of parts off of Amazon, and we've got a big box full of 3-inch exhaust pipes. We have 4 straight sections, 4 45s, 4 90-degree pieces, and 4 U-bends. We also have a brand new thrush welded muffler and a 22-inch by 3-inch in diameter resonator. It's a aluminized glass pack that we picked up off Amazon. So all this stuff was under $300. We're gonna take and get this puppy up in the air, start pulling some stuff off of it, and we're gonna be fitting and welding up a custom 3-inch exhaust system with the stock hangers, and hopefully this thing all fits and goes on smoothly. I'm going to get all the parts out here in just a second. We're going to get this thing up in the air, and let's get after it. So we got this thing up in the air. It's as high as I can get it with my crappy little Harbor Freight jack. God, I gotta get a new jack. That should be plenty enough space to work with. As you can see, we got our muffler, we've got our resonator, and we've got a couple of pieces. I've got a 45, a 90, and a straight section, and a U underneath the muffler there. These are the pipes we're gonna end up welding together and putting on. Right now I'm gonna go catless for the winter and just put a bung on for an O2, and then after that, we're going to get a catalytic converter in the summertime. First, we're gonna start off with this crusty old muffler. I'm gonna get this thing pulled off, and I'm going to try to mount the new muffler with those old hangers. They're still in pretty good condition, so I figure I'll just weld them on and we'll go from there. And once we get the muffler mounted, we can work on filling in the center sections. And it looks like a pretty straight shot from the downpipe back to the second O2 sensor, so that should be the easy part. But for now, I'm gonna pop this off and get back to you in a second. Okay guys, so excuse this little mess I've got going on out here. We got the stock muffler pulled out, and I'm going to reuse this bracket, which was welded on right here. And if you look at our new muffler, I'll lay this side by side here to give you a good comparison. It's a little shorter and not really as thick width-wise from bottom to top. So what we're gonna do is, it's still got the rear right enter for the exhaust to come in, and it's a center out. This is dual, obviously that's a single, so I want to kind of tuck this back underneath the back bumper and have that pipe just barely showing, and I'm going to put a tip right on it. But what I plan on doing, taking this bracket that was here, welding it right about there, so we can hook it back up to the factory location. And we're gonna take this front bracket off on these welds here, just cut it right straight along the edge of this muffler here. And it sits like so. I'm gonna flip it, and then we're gonna weld it on right there where the numbers are. That'll give us our 2 mount points for just the muffler to start. And it's supposed to start raining here shortly, so I'm gonna get on this fast and show you guys the end result. Alright guys, so far I took a piece of angle iron from the battery tray that I made before my battery died, so this was useless afterwards. Cleaned all the paint off of it, and I welded a little ear right on there so that I can take this exhaust hanger and raise it up about, I don't know, 3/4 inch or so I can get closer to the factory mount location. I'm gonna weld that right on like so, and then this should fit perfectly in with the factory location. I might have to build something similar to this for the front side here, because the clamp for this hanger up here looks like it's a little low, so we might raise it up or just get a piece of steel bar and bend it to suit. I think that might be easier. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Well guys, it's the end of my allotted time for day one. We got big ugly rusty muffler out. We got the new one started. It's basically in. I just gotta adjust one bracket point. It's kind of loose right now, but it's nice and tucked up in there. I gotta pick up one rubber hanger for the inside of this muffler on the front right corner. But that's where that's going to sit, and I'm going to put a little tip on it so it sticks out flush with the back bumper. Tomorrow we're going to work on the pipe coming from the muffler towards the front of the vehicle. I think I'm just going to end up disconnecting the downpipe, cutting it and fitting it with a 2.25 inches, 2 1/4, going to 3-inch adapter so I can bring the downpipe. I'm gonna get a new piece of flex section because honestly that was like the worst welds I've ever done in my life. We're gonna cut that off, clean that up, make it look good, weld a new piece of flex section on, and we're gonna start going from the front all the way underneath to the back. And like I said before, we reused a bunch of the factory hangers. You can see on this one, I cut the hanger, where is it? Yeah, the hangers were right here on this one, and then the front bracket that was right here, I cut that off also and fit it and reused it. So we're on our way, but the hardest part is getting the first step started, and so far we've tackled that. So I guess I will see you guys in another morning. Hey there guys, we are back. It's been a few days since we've been out here working on this thing. We got the welder back out, got the little workspace cleared out. There's the old muffler. If you remember the last video, well, the last clip in this video, we left this thing on, today is Sunday, we left this thing on Friday, and we got torrential heavy rain for the last few days. I actually just went to pick up that muffler, and it's full of water because it was laying on the ground. There was about 4 inches of water back here, but most of that is gone now. It's pretty dry. There's a nice little spot to sit and play with electricity and stick metal together. It's time to get this thing going. It's gonna start getting really cold soon. All the leaves are falling off the trees. Anyway, let's get after this thing. First I'm gonna double check my muffler, make sure that's all square, and then we're gonna take the rest of the system off and start rebuilding it with 3-inch. Let's get it. All right guys, we have the stock exhaust system ripped off, and if you go around out back here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it that well. We've got the new muffler hung, and all I'm going to do is put a little tip on it. Let's see if I can get a better shot for you guys. There she is. I put a little hanger on the side, so that little splat looks like. Or what that splat is, nonetheless. So, right here, we have a resonator and another resonator. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this section here, and in place we're going to use the 22-incher. Obviously it's going to be a lot of measuring and finagling, but first we're going to cut this downpipe right in front of the flex pipe, right up there. And I have a new section that is going to convert that from 2.25 up to 3 inches where those clamps are. And I'm going to put that together, and that's going to be the first piece. And I'm hoping to make it right to about here with that section. And once we have that in, we're going to fit that on the car. Then we're going to measure up our next section and work our way all the way up to the rear, and then attach to the muffler in the end. Should be fun. Alright, so now that we've gotten the majority of this crap yanked out of here, I'm going to cut off this bracket here with rubber on it, those two, that third one back there, fourth one rather, and we're going to end up probably welding those onto the new pipe that's over there underneath the creeper. But I just took and adapted this thing up. I got rid of that first time welding mess, and we're not using any more clamps. I actually just took the stock part, the downpipe, welded it to a 2 1/4 to 2 1/2, and then up to the 2 1/2 to 2 1/2 flex pipe section with a 3-inch, 2 1/2 to 3-inch on the back end here. So she's a little warm, but this will work perfectly. We're going to stick this on and use it to mock up the rest of the parts. My welds are nice and solid, and I actually went on the inside of these pipes and welded them together before putting them back together, if you understand what I'm saying. And this is the only one I didn't do that to, but not the prettiest, but they're a hell of a lot better than my first attempt. So you know what, it's underneath the car, as long as it holds the exhaust in, which it looks like it will. There's no holes or anything, pinholes anywhere. I've gone through and cleaned it all off, but we're looking all right. So we're gonna stick this on and start measuring for our first section of the new 3-inch that's over there. Well guys, we are on day 2 of messing with this, and unfortunately, as upstate New York likes to do, it started raining, and it's not completely wet over here yet, but it's on its way. And unfortunately, it's just not safe to be out here with rain falling from the sky, sitting with a flux core welder on the ground. I've got the downpipe fully fabricated and welded up. It's in place right now with a couple of bolts holding it on to the O2 housing. We also, like I showed you before, have the muffler properly affixed with all of its hangers, which you can see right there. It looks pretty good. It's relatively perfect in the factory location. I mean, if you zoom in, I mean, it sags a tiny little bit, but I've got some other rubber hangers that I can use to raise up the front left side of it just a little bit so it's nice and level. And no, we're not leaving it that short, because obviously you can't see it here. We're gonna use a piece of our 3-inch, and we are going to extend it out the back, make a little homemade exhaust tip out of the black pipe that we have. For those of you who didn't see any of the exhaust repair videos, again, this is the hell we were dealing with. This beautiful rusty pipe. I patched up about 20 holes in it just so I could get through my inspection. And yeah, she's toast, and that is my horrible welding work from day 1 of owning a welder again. And for those of you who know where the O2 sensors are, I just had to order another one because this one decided to disintegrate after I started to take down the rubber boot in the front of it. Well, what can you do? That's the end of day number 2. I guess we will be back at it again to hopefully get this thing knocked out. Be right back. Welcome back, guys. It is now officially day 3. I know it seems kind of all over the place. You guys probably noticed some of these days it's nice and bright, some of them it's dark and dingy and crappy. Well, this is just the way it happens when you gotta work a new full-time job and try to modify your car. So, as we can see, big old GSX is way up in the air this time. Today we're gonna try to connect from our downpipe, at least get to the rear axle. I can show you our progress so far. Right there is the 3-inch pipe hanging down from the front, the downpipe. Also, let's see if we can see it from here. That's the O2 sensor. Had a little run-in with our O2 sensor cracking in half, but we got a brand new OEM style Walker. Why is this not focusing? Come on, focus. There we go. Okay. Well, anyway, that's going to sit up there. Here's the other half of our previous sensor. Yeah, it decided it didn't want to live anymore. I guess it's had enough for over 20 years. And just because I couldn't fit my large self under this vehicle, we went and bought a brand new 3-ton, low-profile Pittsburgh brand, Harbor Freight, whatever you want to call it, hydraulic jack. So today we're going to get started. We have to mark up a couple of things. I want to take either and go from the muffler forward, because I want to put that aluminized resonator. There we go. I want to get that bad boy in there. So I have to go under the rear axle, under the rear sway bar, and I think I can do that with a 45, cut it off, and then butt a little straight section right up to the end of that, and then start setting it down by the drive shaft tunnel. which surprisingly there is a lot of space. And forgive my lack of words this morning. It's very early still. So we're going to get started on this. I'm going to try to hopefully get this front end put together in some form or fashion. I need to get a couple of holes drilled, one for a AEM wideband, one for the O2 sensor. We have somewhere in this mess, there is a couple of, there they are. No, that's EGR block plate. No, that's not, it's clips. Oh, I think we got it right here. There are a couple of, there they are, weld-on bungs with plugs, and obviously the curve on the bottom is going to be for like a 2-inch exhaust, so we're going to end up having to grind some of that down before it'll fit nice and flush with our new pipe. We'll weld these on, and yeah, screw in the new sensors. Then we get to take out the center console to replace the back end of the harness. Should be fun. All right, let's get after it. All right, so it looks like we're going to use our newly modified downpipe, and we are going to connect a straight section right here. We're going to weld all that together. Looks like we're going to end up putting our bung right in about here for our O2 sensor, and then I'm going to cut off some of these hangers here on the old system and weld those on into the stock hanger locations underneath the car there. So let's get this welded together real fast. There we go. Alright, so this is going to be our new pipe going from the downpipe back. And this is my first time welding on this pipe. I think I had it going a little too fast on here, but they're all sealed up and tight. Started finding it towards the backside over here, but there's some good color on it, so it looks like it made it through. Nothing's coming off. So now we're going to slide this back up underneath the car. We're going to mark off where our brackets are going to go with our little, where'd she go, little paint marker that we grabbed. And I'm thinking we're going to do, I think there's a hanger right about there on one side, one on the other side. No, it's on this side, judging from that pipe there. I'm going to cut that hanger off right there. I'm going to weld it onto this side here so that it can hold itself up on the factory location. And then towards the rear here, we're going to have to punch the hole and put our bung for our O2 in. And I figured while we're down here, we might as well tap in one on the side of this inducer here, this 2.5 to 3 for the AEM wideband, because I know that likes to have a reading pretty close to up front, within, I think it's like 18 inches or so of your turbo. So I'd say just after the flex pipe. Looks like a good home for it. Hell, we might even put it up just in front to get a real solid reading. But I'm gonna stick this back up underneath the car real fast, do some markings, then we'll come out here, punch some holes, put on some bungs, and weld up some hangers. Should be fun. All right, guys, let me grab my little O2 bung things. We're right through them. Oh, this car is such a mess. All right, so what I plan on doing here, I have already gone underneath the car, mocked this pipe up. It fits very nicely. If anybody ever tells you that 3-inch exhaust will not fit in your drive shaft tunnel safely, they're lying to you. This thing actually fits perfectly with about 2 inches on either side. So, like I told you earlier, I cut off my stock brackets. This fits right here in the paint marks, and it holds it nice and tight inside of the drive shaft tunnel. We're also going to go back here to my crudely drawn X and circle because it's left-handed and I'm a right-handed person. We're going to punch the hole there, and we are going to slap that O2 sensor bung right on top. For right now, I'm going to get this bracket, get that cleared off and ready to be welded on, and drill out the hole for the O2 sensor. Okay guys, so we've got our bracket on. First one of many. This went on real nice. Well, it's stuck pretty damn good. I like it. I'm happy with it. And we also have our O2 bung welded on. The welds went on pretty nice on this too. I think I'm starting to figure out this little flux core welder. I don't know if you can get a close-up look. It looks like I practiced a little bit. Yeah, it looks alright, a little bit of spatter, but what can you do? It's underneath the car. So, I'm going to stick this little plug in here. If I can figure it out for the short term. We're going to leave that like so. We're going to stick this back up underneath the car, make sure everything lines up real nice, which I already put it on there, so I'm sure it will. We're going to put a couple of bolts in the downpipe, and that's going to be it for right now. We will be back at this in another couple of days. Unfortunately, work is calling. Alright guys, just wanted to give you a quick view from down below here. That's the new downpipe section, and that is the piping where it stops. We got about 5.5 feet to go. Looks like straight back to our new muffler. You can see the gap there. It's not too far off, so from here I'm going to attach our aluminized resonator. Hopefully I can get some of that aluminized coating off of there, and we're going to hook it up right to that pipe right there that's hanging down. That's the O2 sensor wire poking down right there, which I'm going to have to replace the harness for. But yeah, that's it right now. It's got some support on it from the front hanger. It's kind of dangling right now. I have to pull it back over into place, but yeah, everything lines up nice so far. Alright guys, we are back here. I believe this is day 4, working on this damn exhaust. Each day, I mean, I get a couple of hours that I get out here to do a little bit of work. It's, 2 hours, 3 hours at best. And that includes the setup and tear down time of taking all my tools outside, setting them up out here, getting everything unloaded from the car, and getting all the pipes and stuff set up and ready to start, piecing this thing together piece by piece by piece. So it's been kind of taking a little while. I apologize for that, and if this video is a little choppy, but we are going to do our best today to finish up putting together these last couple of pieces, getting them tacked into place. Then we have to drop the system one more time and double check all of our welds. And over the last couple of days, if you look around, it's an absolute lake out here. It was. This section that I'm standing in currently, it's still pretty wet, and it was actually under about 6 inches of water. All the leaves that are along the edge of this driveway here, I just raked them out. They created kind of a little liner of sorts for all the water that had fallen. We actually got really bad rain for the last probably 36 hours. It was extremely heavy rain at some points, and it just filled up everything out here. So it was a big sloppy wet mess out here. There was tons of mud and crap everywhere, so I did my best to clean up my workspace yet again. Looks like I'm gonna have to probably cut the soil on the edge that's 6-7 inches higher than the actual driveway, so it'll stop backwashing into my workspace. But what can you do? We're also looking for a garage right now to rent to start doing these videos and projects and stuff on this vehicle, so hopefully something pops up here in the coming weeks. But anyway, today we're gonna get back under there. Ended up having to make a little modification to this front bracket here. It was that much too long. When I measured it beforehand and welded it on, I thought it was going to be perfect, but ended up bumping into part of the heat shield above the drive shaft. So we got our straight section, we got our O2 bung thrown on, and I just threw our resonator on. So as you can see, if you're doing this yourself to your GSX with a 3-inch system, if you cut your brackets off and reuse them, you're looking at downpipe, flex pipe, and then it's straight almost all the way to the rear axle. That's the only place that you have to use your 45 so far. So I'm going to get under there. We have a bracket we have to put in right here by this O2 bung, and that's going to support the rear. So I'm going to throw this thing back on, measure it, and I believe the bracket that we're going to use, let's see, it's going to be this one right here. It's going to be a long reacher, so it goes out this way. I think this bracket is going to mount on something like so. and that's how it's going to hold it. So we'll have the one up front there, and we'll have the one right here, and we're just going to keep on moving along. I came out here for about 45 minutes here. I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time today. I had a customer's car over here, but we sent that on its way, and I put together a couple pieces to connect our resonator that we hooked up the other day back to our muffler. And it's just a rough fit for right now. I didn't weld it in, but I did weld up the 245s that I put together. Right there we go. So you got our muffler in the back. Obviously it's angled down right now. I got to cut about 2 inches out of that black pipe going into the muffler so that I can raise it back up. It's going to be at a little bit of an angle, and it is bumping the rear differential right there, so we're going to have to, there's still a couple of hangers I got to install, but that's how it's going to connect. It's going to drop right there underneath the rear axle. It runs all the way up to the front of the car. Almost our last day, I guess we'll call it, on the GSX. I've been out here working for a couple of hours, and sorry I did not record it, but I've only got a limited amount of time today, as I do always lately. I just figured I'd give you the rundown. We used the stock downpipe. We went from 2.25 to 2.5. Used a 2.5-inch flex pipe section, then a 2.5-inch to 3-inch adapter. Ran it down with all the factory brackets, which fit perfectly fine. Right here we welded our O2 bung in, connected it to a 22-inch aluminized resonator, then brought that back to 245s. I didn't even have to cut them. They went 45, and I flipped it the other way to 45 to the muffler, then to the bracket in the back, and I just finished making a little homemade exhaust tip. So I've test fitted everything. It all worked so far. So I think now is the time we're gonna bolt it up for its last, well, I guess it's last time out of the car, hopefully, and see how she sounds. The only other thing I have to do real fast is trim one part of the heat shield because it's a little too fat where these two brackets are. And after that, we won't have any rubbing, any touching, and it should be perfect. After days and days of before and afters and setting it up and taking it down, she's finally hooked up. The little homemade tip is on. Let's see if my battery's flat dead, which I assume it probably is. She is up. She is alive. She is quiet up front. Oh dear God. She's a loud girl. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna let this puppy warm up. Oh, that sounds so nice. Oh, hell yeah. She's probably gonna smoke for a little while because it's all brand new pipe. So we're gonna let her warm up. That is finally an end to the 2G GSX exhaust. Now I've got to hurry up and pack all this stuff up and get off to the job, but I'm going to lower her down, take her for a drive in the next video, and give you guys my thoughts on how much of a pain this was to do, if I would tackle it if I were you, and definitely going to link all of the parts and pieces that I ordered, everything that I needed to do this job in the video description, so make sure you check that out if you want to do this yourself. And something I wanted to note, if you're going to buy a 3-inch kit, we bought it off of Amazon, and I think it was Better Cloud brand 3-inch pipe. The kit comes with 4 straight sections, 4 90-degree, 4 45s, and 4 U-bends. And all I ended up using was 2 of the straights, 2 of the 45s, and then I took a 90 and chopped it just to make the little tip over here at the end here. So again, I apologize for dragging on and on and on, but the GSX is finally back on the road. I'm excited, And I'm gonna let you guys go for now. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun. We'll be seeing you guys hopefully within a garage in the next couple of months. But until then, take care from today's project guide. We'll see you later. She is up. She is alive. She is quiet up front. Oh dear God. She's a loud girl. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna let this puppy warm up. Oh, that sounds so nice. Oh, hell yeah. She's probably gonna smoke for a little while because it's all brand new pipe. So we're gonna let her warm up. That is finally an end to the 2G GSX exhaust. Now I've got to hurry up and pack all this stuff up and get off to the job, but I'm gonna lower her down, take her for a drive in the next video, and give you guys my thoughts on how much of a pain this was to do, if I would tackle it if I were you. And definitely going to link all of the parts and pieces that I ordered, everything that I needed to do this job in the video description, so make sure you check that out if you want to do this yourself. And something I wanted to note, if you're going to buy a 3-inch kit, we bought it off of Amazon, and I think it was Better Cloud brand 3-inch pipe. The kit comes with 4 straight sections, 4 90-degree, 4 45s, and 4 U-bends, and all I ended up using was 2 of the straights, 2 of the 45s, and then I took a 90 and chopped it just to make the little tip over here at the end here. So again, I apologize for dragging on and on and on, but the GSX is finally back on the road. I'm excited, and I'm gonna let you guys go for now. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun. We'll be seeing you guys hopefully within a garage in the next couple of months. But until then, take care from today's project guide. We'll see you later.